Jillian, I don't know if you've seen this, but the New York Times, the headline, December 2nd, could weight loss drugs turn fat cats into svelte Ozempics? On Tuesday, Ocava Pharmaceuticals, a biopharmaceutical company out of San Francisco, is set to announce that it has officially begun a pilot study of a GLP-1 drug for cats with obesity. But instead of shots, they want to insert small injectable implants underneath the skin of the cat, and it will slow release for 6 months and suppress the cat's appetite.
Wow.
What are your thoughts?
I know I'm laughing because it's so absurd, but in reality, it's exceptionally dystopian. I mean, I have 2 cats.
Okay.
One we've nicknamed Squeak because every time you go into the kitchen, she squeaks relentlessly at you. It does not mean you feed her. It's one thing for an adult who is physiologically addicted, may have some form of psychological trauma, and simply cannot stop compulsively overeating. They've tried everything else, and in the cost-benefit analysis, Ozempic is the best option. Having said that, you can simply just not feed that cat. You as the adult cannot pour the second bowl of food. It's kind of that simple.
It is that simple, and that's what drives me crazy, because the New York Times here, they're basically acting, in my opinion, as court stenographers for these big pharma companies. This is the fourth graph. Recent estimates suggest that roughly 60% of the nation's dogs and cats have obesity. Hundreds of thousands of cats and dogs have diabetes. Better treatments are desperately needed, experts said. But to your point, how about the basic, free, easy option? How are these dogs and cats getting obese? It's not like they're cooking for themselves. They don't have Grubhub accounts.
They do not. So what's kind of sad is that our pets, there's no, what's interesting? I've actually interviewed, because I love animals so much, I've interviewed veterinarians about this kind of stuff. And like wolves, there's no cancer, there's no diabetes, but
really?
Dogs, no. Animals, when they eat this processed garbage kibble, it's kind of like our version of McDonald's. Now, I don't blame anyone because, for example, my wife was just telling me yesterday, she's like, do you realize we just spent $78 on like 40 cans of cat food? And to feed these animals, well, it can be costly. But the reality is that you feed them a little bit less, go and take them for a walk, get the little toy with the mouse on the end. We have it. I mean, it's the same thing. You got to move them and you got to feed them a little bit less food. And you are in control of that. Even if you yourself cannot get outside for a walk, I've been lazy enough to take the ball and throw it down the hallway for the dog. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just, but what's fascinating about this, and you so eloquently pointed it out, is that Big Pharma knows no limits. So the big food gets the animals on the way in, and Big Pharma gets them on the way out, just like human beings. But we do have the ability to exert more control over this, and we should be as responsible pet owners.
100%. And when I got my dog about 7 years now, I really made an effort to educate myself on what the healthiest thing to feed that dog would be. And yes, those kinds of pet foods, they can cost more, but you speak often about the cost benefit analysis. And to me, tilting the odds in favor of my dog living a much healthier, longer life. If it costs more upfront with the food, it's going to cost less down the road in veterinary care and medications and, God forbid, surgeries.
You couldn't be more right. There's actually a fantastic book about this that I think became a #1 bestseller by a vet named Dr. Karen Becker. It's called The Forever Dog. And all of these little steps you can take to mitigate disease. Veterinary care, it's exceptionally expensive. Dental care, all of this stuff. So you're not wrong. Spending a little bit more and honestly giving your dog, provided you're not eating, raisins, chocolate, and garlic, giving your dog your leftovers. I'll give the dog, if I have yogurt for breakfast with berries in it and I don't finish it, I give it to the dog. If we have green beans for dinner and some steak, I'll give him the fat that scraps the green beans. Like it's absolutely the best strategy. And I just think a little bit of effort here goes a long way. And you're absolutely right. Spending a few bucks on prevention could save you thousands of dollars down the road on curing the problem.
Exactly. Now, to that point, let's talk about our human victims, our celebrity victims, because we've been seeing several of them who are clearly on GLP-1s and who are either, giving other explanations as to why they look so ill. Some of them look like they are fighting like a disease that causes bodily and facial wasting. From Ariana Grande, who well-placed sources told the Daily Mail that the family knows that she is not well, that Ariana knows that she is not well. Kelly Osbourne, who says that she is in deep mourning and grief over the recent death of her father, but who really has made her weight a central narrative of her entire celebrity. Meghan Trainor, who has dropped an alarming amount of weight, and honestly, in the case of Kelly and Meghan, just to my eyes, they both seem to be wearing wigs. And I wonder if they are perhaps suffering a common side effect of Ozempic, which is weight loss. Jessica Simpson, what do you make of these images that we're seeing, Jillian?
Listen, okay, I've made this mistake once before, so I'll take the names out of it and simply say what you're seeing from these medications is not just weight loss, it's accelerated aging, or the appearance of accelerated aging. And I believe you and I touched on this once before in your show previously, that there is some data to suggest these medications are inhibiting the ability of the stem cells in your subdermal layer to do their job. And we also discussed how very prominent plastic surgeons have talked about the fact that people aren't healing properly when they're on these medications, that the musculature in their face is wasting away. And this is where I would say, like, guys, these are very serious medications. And there's a gentleman who I do not want to name, but because he looks so happy and he's lost so much weight and he needed to lose the weight. But there is a picture of this guy and I thought he was 60 years old. And I looked him up and I was like, wait a minute. Oh my God, he's 40, I think 41. And he now looks like he's 60.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah. I don't, and I love him. I love his music. I think he's an incredible human. I'm so happy he's healthy. But I literally thought, oh my God, he looks like he's 60 years old now. And I've taken guys like that and I've taken hundreds of pounds off of them and they don't look 60 years old. They look 10 years younger. So there is unquestionably mechanisms of this medication that are, you're 100% right about hair falling out. There's no question about that. That is a huge problem. And any hairdresser in Hollywood will tell you that it's become a massive issue.
Really?
But we know, it's a huge, huge problem. And they don't really understand why. A lot of people posit the guess that it could be lack of nutrition. But what makes people lose hair if they're not getting enough circulation? Okay, that's not it. Stress, quite possibly. Hormonal imbalances, possibly. Like as women go into menopause and their progesterone starts to lower, they lose hair. But no, to be honest, I haven't actually heard exactly the mechanism for that, but it is irrefutable that it is occurring.
Is it possible, Jillian, that they just don't even know?
Oh, no, they know.
Oh, they know.
Oh, no,
they know the
they
mechanism.
Know.
They just won't tell us.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant the people who are losing the hair.
No. The mechanism that's causing that kind of hair loss.
Possibly. The one I keep hearing though is, it's just, lack of nutrition, rapid weight loss. Again, I've taken a lot of weight off of a lot of people very quickly, but you don't do it through starvation. So that kind of comes back to lack of nutrition. It's possible it's that, but I really do think it's more. Just in the same way they'll tell you, it's just that they're losing fat in their face. I'm like, no, that's not it. That's not what's doing it. Again, Maureen, these are serious medications with very serious consequences. And I would caution, a lot of the individuals that you mentioned, that you had mentioned, the women,
Yeah.
they weren't obese.
No, they were not. By Hollywood standards, they were obese. But by we're losing a sense of what normal is in the culture.
Right. What? These are not women that you looked at and thought, oh, they could lose a few. No, in no universe. Like there might have been a few on your list that, okay, they're a size 10 and they wanted to be a size 4. I'm pretty sure if I took any one of those women to the doctor, they probably would have got largely a clean bill of health.
You're so right.
So when you go on these medications to lose 20 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, like you are hitting a nail with a sledgehammer. It has serious consequences. Period.
Yes, Jillian. And the thing, to your point about the hair loss, the severe, substantial hair loss that is discussed privately in Hollywood, I think that this is when you see these images of these women who are insisting that no, they are normal, they are healthy, and people are perhaps just jealous of their new bodies.
Yeah.
When you see them in what seems to be wigs, this is what, to me, when you said, what's the mechanism? All I can think of when I look at some of these women, I'm not saying they're necessarily the women that I named, but they present to me like end stage cancer patients who have been through chemotherapy. I
don't disagree with you at all. I don't disagree with you at all. I literally, my friend's boyfriend reached out to me about it, and he was like, are you sure? What if I microdose? And I was like, Eric, I can't be sure, but I'll send you photos. Hey, you're not a big guy. You want to lose 15 pounds. And that's when I sent the photo of the gentleman I mentioned previously. Like, it accelerates aging, and these people are not coming out looking better for having done it. I would argue some of the women on your list, like, let's just take Cynthia Erivo.
Okay.
To me, her body, and I'm not going to comment on her body right now. Her body was beautiful. She's crazy muscles and sinew. Like, why would this woman need anything? Her physique is one to aspire towards. So I do feel like I have a friend in New York who has bothered me relentlessly about GLP-1s. What about this one? What about that one? What about a microdose? I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? You're a size 4. She's like, but everyone's on it. Everyone's on it.
That's the thing. That's the thing that I find so troublesome and worrisome, is that everyone's on it. And once this thing comes out in pill form and is much cheaper, as you and I discussed on the last show, it's going to be even harder to push against for the average woman, who's going to feel like she is the freak if she's not on it. And we've gotten to this point in the culture where it's like you said, you've got friends who come to you and
Constantly.
who are lucky enough to avail themselves of your very good advice, and who maybe have 10 pounds to lose or 15. And this is where Ozempic has gotten us in the culture, where having a few extra stubborn pounds to lose is a point of shame. It's not whether you're healthy. It's not whether your body is strong. It's not whether your doctor gave you a clean bill of health. It's that, why haven't you just taken this drug that'll just get it done for you?
Yes. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
A lot of the people that advocate for this are the exact same people that were body positivity people just a couple years ago.
Yes.
I've seen the light. I will name this one because the hypocrisy is too much. Oprah Winfrey.
Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh. Now first it was, I refuse to be like enslaved and judged for weight. And then 5 seconds later, you're selling Ozempic on your weight loss platform through Weight Watchers, talking about how it's the best miracle in the world. Like, you can't. That one made me so angry, because it's like, dude, how much money do you need? How much? Like, you're a multi-billionaire. How much money do you need? You got to go hawk weight loss drugs. So it's like, think about who's telling you this. And think about what they were telling you just a few years ago.
And to your point with Oprah, she got caught. She was on the board of Weight Watchers, had
Yep.
stock in Weight Watchers, was telling people, but mainly women, to do the point system and, diet and exercise. That's the way you do it. Then when the rumblings got too loud, Oprah had lost like 75% of her body weight within months. Oh, she's clearly on Ozempic. Come out and say it. Come out and say it. She's forced into resigning from Weight Watchers, and then does 2 hours separately on primetime television, or at least one was on ABC, a town hall in favor of Ozempic and why it's so great. Basically an infomercial, and it's, you're so
Well,
right
it's a
about.
little more complicated. Hang on. Weight Watchers bought a telehealth medicine company that sold this drug. Then she started promoting the drug. Then people like myself turned around and called her out on, like, that's so interesting. Like, you did a 2-hour commercial and you just bought, you're like one of the top shareholders of Weight Watchers. So it was like a pump and dump. And then when she got crucified for it, then she's like, oh, I'm gonna donate my stock. And it's like, dude, you made hundreds of millions of dollars off this deal. Now, after you get it was a little bit more insidious than that, to be honest, which is one of the reasons I get so pissed, because I'm just like, if you really believed it, it'd be one thing. And then she went to the hospital, if you recall, for a mystery illness that went on for days.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know for sure, but I have it on good authority that it had to do with a complication with the medicine. I don't know.
The first celebrity who really comes out and says, I did it and I had to get off of it because it did the following things. The closest one I can think of is Sharon Osbourne, who said before Ozzy died, she cannot gain weight. She cannot stop losing weight, and she doesn't want to be in this body anymore, that she doesn't feel herself. But you don't necessarily think that's...
Oh, no, I love her. She's the nicest lady. I do think that there's body image stuff going on there. I've had talks with her about it. And she did not. It's like, it's also, I mean, Maureen, it's an eating disorder in a pen. That's why these things need to be heavily regulated and done under medical supervision, and given to the right group of patients, not used as a front line of defense for children, not used on your freaking cat, and not used when you want to get ready for your summer vacation. Like, oh my God, you're making me upset.
Yes, no, I'm sorry. But an upset Jillian Michaels, I think, is one of the best Jillian Michaels going, fiery Jillian. But yes, and to your point, I worried, I wrote a column for the Daily Mail on this last week. And I was just thinking about the ways in which our aesthetics constantly swing back. It was in the 70s when Karen Carpenter died of anorexia.
Oh, yeah.
And suddenly the world was like, oh my God, this is a real thing, eating disorders. Then the 80s, we swung to the aerobicized figure and the Jane Fondas of the world, right? Then the 90s was heroin chic, another kind of institutionalized eating disorder. Then the 2000s ushered in Giselle Bundchen, who was a glowing sort of Amazonian healthy supermodel. And now we're back here again. But it's Big Pharma that's helped put us here, and celebrity culture with again, I think it's a kind of institutionalized, acceptable eating disorder that they're making billions of dollars off of.
It is the best selling drug of all time.
Oh my God.
Then think about that. You've got OxyContin. I mean, people get sick, antibiotic. Like, think of every medication. Viagra. It's the best selling drug of all time.
That's terrifying.
Kinda.
Yeah. It's a good place to leave it, though. It's great food for thought, as it were. We all want the best food for ourselves and our families, but it's hard to know what is safe. Food labels can be misleading. Introducing Olive. Olive is the clean living shortcut on your phone. It's 100% independent, credible, and transparent. No brand pay to play. A simple scan on Olive looks beyond macros and marketing to flag ultra processing, additives, seed oils, and contaminants with a comprehensive database that you can trust. Proof, not promises. Olive recently completed the largest independent baby food study ever. 300 plus products tested for lead and arsenic in ISO accredited labs. Real tests, real results. Moms, has your baby's food been contaminated with lead? Scan with Olive to find out. If you are frustrated by reading confusing food labels and ingredients you can't even pronounce, try Olive. Listeners of The Nerve get an exclusive 7-day free trial. Try Olive. Scan your pantry. Make sure you're feeding your family the very best. Download Olive now in the App Store. Olive, 100% independent, credible, transparent. Scan, swap, exhale.